Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I wanted to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and I wanted to talk about artificial intelligence. So there's been a huge amount of discussion around artificial intelligence, and there's been a lot of fear around artificial intelligence, and none of that fear has been shared by me. I'm just not frightened by GPT, by Google Bard. I'm not frightened by broad language platforms, right? And the reason why is like these aren't real problems. People are like, oh, ChatGPT is doing my kid's homework and that's a problem. That's not a problem, right? First of all, if Bobby can't spell decision, and then Bobby hands in a perfectly spelled, perfectly crafted essay, no teacher worth their salt is going to believe that Bobby actually wrote that essay. ChatGPT doing homework is not a real problem. And also, like, ChatGPT getting a kid through high school, who cares? Like, they're gonna suck at life, right? If they didn't do half their assignments, they're not actually gonna know how to do anything useful. They're cheating no one but themselves. This is not a real problem, right? But I did see something, and so then people are like, oh, ChatGPT is gonna be able to dungeon master. They're gonna be able to take the seats of dungeon masters. Oh, ChatGPT is gonna be, by the way, I hate that name. I'm just gonna call it Chappie from now on. I like better. True names are important. So I'm just going to say Chappie, and I mean ChatGPT. So they're like, oh, Chappie's going to take over the seat of a dungeon master. Chappie's going to take over the seat of a player, right? And honestly, I'm like, nah, man. Like Chappie ain't going to do nothing, right? This is nothing to be afraid of, right? This is just like it's a parlor trick, right? But I did see something recently that has put the fear of God in me, right? And that is. I saw a drone show. So I go to Longwood Gardens, and they do a fountain show, and it's gorgeous and it's beautiful. It's a great. It's a mixture of technology, and it's technology and art together, right? It's using technology to create amazing art, right? And it's really tremendous. Well, I saw something. They just did it for the first time this year. They did a fountain and drone show, right? And at the beginning of the show, they the drones just kind of floated up, all in green, all with a green dot on their eye, right? And they floated up in this amorphous blob, and then floated back down as a test, right? And it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. And the reason why is it was 40 drones, all with a dot of light on it, but it looked like a living, moving creature. It truly did, right? And it was very clear that there was not an individual pilot piloting each drone. There was an AI that was piloting the entire swarm. This was a swarm algorithm. And the moment I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness. And the reason why is, one, it was clear it had a mind of its own. And then two, it was unpredictable. And three, I was like, if they weaponize this, it's over. Like, if you put weapons on these drones, if you could put weapons on the drones that we saw, they could have killed, those drones could have easily killed half the people there, right? Like, so a weaponized drone swarm, it's over, is over, right? Like, you're done, right? And I was like, holy cows, I really have never seen anything like this, right? And then when the drones started doing the show, the shapes they made, if you had hired 40 individual pilots, there's no possibility they would have been able to fly these things in formation the way they did. There were circling, moving symbols in the sky, right? And the other thing, I've done content about Dungeons & Dragons and murmurations, and it's also clear that AI is clearly taking cues from bird murmurations, right? And so this did frighten me. This is the first time I've ever been frightened of AI. And so does this mean that we'll soon have AI dungeon masters? Absolutely not. There will never be an AI dungeon master worth its salt. It's far too complicated. Will there be AI players? Absolutely yes. The bar on being a player is so low right now, and like even Critical Role, like Robbie Damon, Critical Role, literally, Robbie Damon is a Critical Role player, and literally just said on comicbook.com that he had played multiple one-shots with it and never bothered to learn the rules. The bar on being a good Dungeons & Dragons player today, like even Critical Role can't get its players to read the stinking rule book. That when the bar is that low and there's so little quality players in the world, yeah, I definitely think that AI. I'm positive. I am absolutely positive AI will be able to put players at your table. With no, in fact, I'm convinced AI could probably put better players at many tables right now. Not at my table. Couldn't replace any of my players, but I'm very confident. Every day I get people who tell me, "Oh, hey Scott, my Dungeons & Dragons game it sucks. It's not important. Doesn't change anybody. Nobody learns anything. The whole thing's for fun. It's completely worthless and useless." I guarantee you that you could definitely replace players at those tables. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.